Okay, back to work. Okay, now we're going to hone out the rods here. Need to rebuild these, see how straight they are, and do all the stuff we need to do on these. A lot of work to do there. So we need a crank pin so we can measure it. A wrist pin, bush pin, and see how tight the bushings are. They appear to be pretty good. Just a little bit of play, not too bad. Those are good. Okay. So next thing I do, I check the alignment of these. Then we check the big end and see how bad they are. So we need to go check the big end on these. So we can use that same pin I just stole over here. Take that with us. Let's go do a checking rod aligning. It'll be over here. Be that thing right there. All right. Clean that off. Light on the subject. And some tools. So grab a rod. Okay, when it sits flat, all three of these feet will be square to the plate. Comes off the wrist pin here, it's perpendicular. When everything is straight. Actually looks fairly good that way. Yep, pretty close. So what you're looking for is the gaps right here between the edges. So right in there, you look as flat as you can. You're looking for light. Don't see any gap. So you want a gap right up in here. So this one looks pretty flat. You rotate a little bit like that if you want. Check it. And if everything looks good, you're good. This one looks good. Let me check this other one over here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be pretty damn close. This one's within 5 thou, looks like, from what I can tell. Let's see what this one does. Good. Yep. Another good one. Okay, this stage is done. I'm gonna go clean up, I'll be back. Alright, next thing we gotta do is get the get some diameters figured out. So this is my setting standard. So I need to go over here and figure out what size these rods are right now. So we go over here. We got a setter gauge right here. And we need a little bit of light too. A little light. Alright. So this thing should be 0 out if everything's perfect. Okay, with today's temperature, we appear to be 0'd out pretty good right here in the gauge. Looks pretty good. Alright, so now we know what that's at. Now we take our rods and see how bad they are. 6/10 out around on that one. That's even worse. About 7/10 out. And this one, ooh, 9.5/10. Just under a thou. Well, that one's over a thou on that side. We're about 13, 12.5, 13, and that goes down to 1. Alright, so this one's the worst one. That's common. And we're way below our 0, which is not normal. We usually run the other side of 0, not way the hell up like that. So now we got an idea what size we are. So I'm assuming this crank pin is oversized. Well, they have really, really tight rods. So, alright, so we put our standard away. Let's measure our crank pin up and see what we got here. Clean everything off with a clean towel. It's usually my shirt. Okay. Looks like we're 1/1000 under. Lights off. Light might help on this. So the numbers are right over here. You got 0, and then the vernier caliper's over here. Whenever one of these lines up, that's a 10th. Over here is your thousandths. So 0's where we should be at. We're 1 thou under, which is 1 full line down. Just by looking at it. And then you look over here on the vernier scale and see if the 0 or the 1 lines up best. Looks like the 0. That one looks like the 1. Nope, 0. See, when you wedge in the backside here, you get a false number. Okay, you rotate the crank pin a little bit, check the rest of it. Looks pretty consistent to me. Alright, so this is 1 thou under. So unless his rollers were undersized, he had negative clearance. So here's the old rollers. There's 2 of them. Get the good mic. This one's carbide faced. Okay, 187.5 is standard. With a normal 2/10 under. Should be 5. We're at 3. 2 to 3. So the new standard is 2/10 under. Yeah, we're right on the 3. Almost 4. Okay, so we're not very far under. So this thing had almost no clearance in it. Very, very tight rod clearance is stock. Typical Harley. That means we got plenty of room for making it looser. So sportsters are run pretty hard easily, so you should give them a thou clearance. Big twins, you put them at 8, 9, 10. So I can either use the early style cages like we're in it, or I can put the correct cages in there, which are a little different looking. Now the other cage came out in 87. I think this was an 86 motor, so that's why it had the early cages in it. It's the last year of the early motor. So I have a toss if I can put the 87 later stuff in there, or I can put the aluminum stuff in there that wears out. This has a little bit more bearings than the other one, so this is a little bit stronger, heavier duty. So let's toss up on which one to use. So we're going to use the good one, the old one. Alright, so initially we have a 1 thou undersized crank pin. We want to run 1 thou clearance on our bearings, so that makes it 0 on the mic, 0 on that gauge over there. So we were 1.5 up. And then our bearings are a 1/10 or 2 under, but I don't know what the new ones are going to be until I measure them. So we're going to be a little bit under the 0 number for standard. And as we call the rod, this rod here, the biggest point on this is 1/10 under. So at standard we're going to be a little bit too small. We have to have a little bit more room to hone out. So we're going to go at 2/10 over, see what we come up with. So these are 2/10 over bearings. So these are marked rusty, which means they're got pits and shit in them. Which means we're not going to use those. So these are the other ones. They're good. There's some rollers right here. Alright, let's see what we got here. These have a little rust preservative on them, so it makes them slightly bigger when you measure them. So you have to wobble them, or you have to roll them a little bit with a mic with pressure to squeegee it off. Okay, this one is standard, even though it's 2/10 over, which is the norm. And this one looks to be the same number. It's on 5, which is standard. Let's go check our little ones and see if they're holding the same. They don't always, so I'm going to be careful. Looking good, right on 5 again. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be good on this one. Yep, same number. Okay, so standard. So if I can hone this out and be at 0 or maybe 1/10 under, we can run these rods with standard with 2/10 over bearings. If not, I have to go up to the 4/10 over, and I got 4 more tenths to roll out, hone out. Alright, so let's go over our hone and see what we're going to come up with here. Now we have all our numbers in our head. So basically we're going to hone it until we are at, what number we're on? We're at standard. We're going to be at 0. 0 will give us 1/1000. And if we go a little extra, another 1/10 or so, it'll be okay. So that leaves out only leaves 2/10 to hone out to make the one rod good max. One for what we want and one extra one to be slightly looser. And I could fudge out of them a couple tenths if I want to. Doesn't have to be exactly on the money. It's got to be close. Biggest thing is making it round. A little bit loose ain't going to hurt us. Okay, stones are over here. Okay. I'm going to put my core stone in first. It tends to knock off the high spots really quick and not really cut the low all that much, so it shouldn't hurt us all that much. Okay, now this one, the rod is made undercut right here to go in further, so you see how it bottoms out inside the rod right here. See, at least these evil rods, you have to rotate them around. And see, it goes in deeper now. If you don't do it that way, you don't have enough room up here to come at the bottom dead center, and the rods actually bottom out inside of here, and it will break the rod. So you got to remember to put it in correctly to get the center line so the pistons won't hit each other here. So that's how you do it. If you do a stroker motor, it gets even worse. So anyway, so don't put these in backwards. So this I can only hold them one way. Normally I put the numbers together, but in this case they're opposite of each other. Alright. Crank it up. A little pressure on it to the neighborhood we want to be. Alright, here we go. Rod bounces up, down, side around. Down, down, around. My fingers keep it from bottoming out inside so it doesn't damage the rod. Later they quit bouncing. Always keep it straight. Alright, let's see what we got. Tighter than this side. We're going to hone a little bit more in this direction. This side being, it always hones more on this side of the armor. For whatever reason. Kind of equalize them, but they're hot, so you've got to cool them off. When the oil over there will cool off. I can see how bad this one is. Okay. We're already 1/10 past what we want on this one. Okay, normally I go to an intermediate stone, but I'll go right to the... Yeah, I go to the intermediate. I like cooking them up evenly. That's the fine one. This is the middle one here. Okay. A whole tank of oil over there so it cools them off. If you feel heat in there, they're growing. Alright, so it goes in that direction. Set around. Move this stone. It's a better finish. hone this within 2/10 of my final, just 2/4. We should be close to that now. 3 and 4 on the gears right now. Pretty even. Still got half an hour around on it. Pretty crappy. Making heat, not cutting like we're growing. That should be pretty close. Side. Okay. Pretty far out around still. Three-tenths out. This rod's pretty nice. This one sucks. So we're still 3/10 out. We only got 1/10 to go, but we're 3/10 out. So we're 1 above, 2 down right now. 3/10 is kind of my limit. We're right on the limit basically. Hold some more, see what we get. We're on the medium grit storm right now. This one's already good, but if I gotta hold this more, I gotta hold this one. I don't have to. I've done split bearings before. One-tenth to go, so 1.5 around. That's good. This one, on the other hand, sucks. like this, I'm going to go bigger. 3/10 out, I don't like it. cylinder. Big improvement. 1/10 out now, but it's next size up. Cool it off. Yeah, 1/10 out, I guess, in one spot. Yeah, about 1/10 out. Big improvement from 3 or 4 was just out. It's just a matter of going a little bit bigger to get more to clean it. Okay, this is our fine stone now. This deglazes the stone so it cuts it more even and cuts. It's glazed up, it just kind of rubs across and it cuts very well. That's the cut. That's what I call my mirror finish. All that honey for 1/10. Probably gonna cut it. Oh. About halfway there. Half a 1/10 on that one side only. This one's going to go 4/10 to 4.5 inches under. Shoot 4. Or 3.5 to 5. Down, that's where we're at. Put some oil back in a tank over there. All right. Do it. Clean my hands off a little bit so I can kind of show you what's going on without getting the camera too full of oil. definitely full of oil. Alright. So, here's what we're shooting for over here. Wrong dial. We want this dial up here. Okay, so this rod is 0, female rod. See the 0 right there, and about 1/10 out around. Over here, 0, about 3/4 out. Okay, this one's the next size up, so it's 4/10 bigger than this one, so it's going to be 4/10. So you're 4/10 there. So that's about 3.5/10. It shrunk a little bit with the extra oil I just did on it. So that's about 3 3/4 to 4 to 5. So it's 1/10 1/4 to 1/10 out around. This one here is a little bigger than I want, 3.5. So it's a little bit tight on this one side. I don't like that. So if I don't like it, I'll give a few more swipes right here. Now we're at 4 to just a hint over 5. It'll shrink a 1/2 from heat. Alright, so that gets me where I want this one at. Alright, so that's how you do it. So you go from 11/10 out around to 1/10 out on that one. This one was 6 and 7, I think, out, or 8 out. And we got to within 1. So there you go. Okay, get all this cleaned up. We'll be back.